Hey, it's Estrada here, and our aim for today is how do we add or subtract rational expressions. Okay, so here's a nice warm-up. I want you to fully simplify into one fraction, 1/3 plus 3/4. Alright, so you know that if you want to add rationals or fractions, fractions and rationals means the same thing. You need a common denominator. So let's get a common denominator. Let's multiply this fraction by 4. 4 times 3 is going to give us 12, and then we could get a common denominator of 12 because we know that 4 goes into 12. And let's multiply this one by 3. Okay, once you do that, you're going to multiply across. So for the fraction here, you're going to get 4 times 1. That's going to give you 4, and then 4 times 3 is 12. So you get 4 over 12 for this fraction here. Then for the other one, you get 9 over 12. Okay, now if you want to bring it together as one fraction, remember this rule over here? A over C plus B over C is equal to A plus B over C. If two fractions have a common denominator and you're adding them, you can just join the numerators with the single common denominator. So this is going to give us 13 over 12. So that's our final answer. Alright, example 1. Now here we're going to add rational expressions. It says fully simplify to one fraction. Look, essentially it's the same steps and guidelines. If you want to add two fractions, you need a common denominator. So how could we get a common denominator? Well, if we multiply this by x minus 5 and multiply this by x plus 5, we now have a common denominator of x minus 5 and x plus 5 for both fractions. Do you see that? So one of the things you could do is, ask yourself, what does one fraction have that what does one of the denominators of one fraction have that the other one doesn't have? In this case, when we first started, so this is what it looked like when we first started, 3 over x plus 5 doesn't have an x minus 5, so we multiply by the x minus 5. And the 4 over x minus 5 doesn't have the x plus 5, so we multiply by that. And whatever you do on the denominator, you got to do on the numerator. And now you get a common denominator by doing that. So what do we got? Well, we're going to have to distribute on the numerators. So 3 times x and 3 times negative 5. And then we got to distribute the 4 here. And we get this for on the fraction here. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. 4 times x is 4x. And 4 times 5 is 20. Now you could join the two fractions because you have a common denominator. Do you see that? You could join the two fractions as one fraction, like we did in the warm-up. So we join them, and we get 3x minus 15 plus 4x plus 20 over x minus 5 times x plus 5. Combine the like terms, you get 7x plus 5 on the numerator. Alright, so let's trace our steps. We needed a common denominator. So that's important. You got to get a common denominator. Then, you just distributed the 3 here and distributed the 4. Then you got to join as one fraction. So example 1 was just these 2 steps, but it's not generally always like that. Sometimes there could be more steps involved. Example 2, fully simplified to 1 fraction. You want to factor first if necessary. Alright? So you always want to begin by factoring if it's necessary. In this case, you could factor. You could factor out this expression. And factoring, it really helps with trying to get a common denominator. So that's why you want to make sure you factor first. So when you factor, this is the expression you get. Whoopsie, that should be a minus sign. Whoops. And so let me get rid of that there. So you get 2x over x minus 2 minus 2 over x plus 7 times x minus 2. So now you got to get a common denominator. To get a common denominator, ask yourself, well, what does this fraction have that the other one doesn't have? Well, this one's got an x plus 7. We need an x plus 7 on the fraction here, the left one. So let's do that. Let's give it an x plus 7. Here it is. And you got to do the same on the numerator to preserve the equality of the fraction. Well, what do we have here? We have a common denominator now. We got a common denominator of x plus 7 and x minus 2. So let's distribute 2x times x and 2x times 7. So we distribute the 2x and we get 2x squared plus 14x. Bring everything else down. Now you want to join as one fraction, and you get 2x squared plus 14x minus 2. Okay, I hope this video helps. Take care.